Okay. Chair recognizes an expert on PBMs, Mr. Krishnamoorthi from Illinois.
Thank you, Mr. Comer. And thank you to the gentleman and the witnesses. I understand that you're here today to advance what I understand to be your shared position, namely, as the CEO of your trade association, PCMA, recently stated, nothing can change the fact that PBMs have a proven track record of reducing prescription drug costs. Mr. Joyner, this is your collective position, correct?
That's correct.
Well, I'd like to just review some documents. First of all, in an interim staff report released this month, the FTC calls PBMs, quote, the powerful middlemen inflating drug costs and squeezing Main Street pharmacies. Mr. Joyner, that's what the FTC says, correct? It's right here.
That's correct.
Now, let me just point to another headline, this time in the New York Times. The headline of this New York Times article is, "The opaque industry," referring to PBMs, "secretly inflating prices for prescription drugs." Dr. Conway, you don't deny that the New York Times headline says this, correct?
That is the headline.
And further, at least 8 different states have filed lawsuits alleging that PBMs are inflating drug prices and engaging in anti-competitive behavior. In fact, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost states, quote, Express Scripts has used its dominance solely for its financial gain, creating a complex pay-to-play rebate system that perversely pushes manufacturers to increase drug prices in order to be placed on or receive preferred placement on PBM formularies. Now, Mr. Katzner, you don't deny this is what Attorney General Yost said about your company, correct?
I don't recall seeing that exact quote,
I'll
sir.
just show you. It's right here. This is on their website. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost, it says exactly what I said. You don't deny that's what Dave Yost said, right?
It appears that's what the document you're showing says.
So on the one hand, we have PBMs claiming to reduce prescription drug prices. And on the other hand, we have the Federal Trade Commission. We have major media outlets like the New York Times. We have at least 8 different attorneys general, Democratic and Republican, who all say that PBMs are inflating drug costs. I wonder whom the American people should believe. I want to turn to another topic. That's the question of DIR fees. And I see some pharmacists in the audience. They probably understand what I'm talking about here. DIR fees are the most insidious part of a class of fees known as post-sale adjustments or pharmacy price concessions. Essentially, DIR fees are clawbacks. They're clawbacks that PBMs get from pharmacies when the PBMs decide not to pay the originally agreed to reimbursements for the medicines that pharmacies have already dispensed in the past, in history. So let me look at the July FTC report and what they say about this. They note various public comments stating that DIR fees are unexplainable, create needless uncertainty for pharmacies, and are, quote, a charade. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services says that pharmacy price concessions, of which DIR fees are a part, exploded by 107,400% between 2010 and 2020, a rate of increase that literally staggers the imagination. I'm not making this up. This number actually comes from CMS. This is not a typo. Mr. Joyner, this is what CMS says about pharmacy price concessions, correct?
Yes.
The top 5 executives at each of the corporations that own the PBMs represented today have all had significant increases in their paid compensation over the past 3 years. Andrew Whitty, the CEO of United Healthcare, earned between $18 million and $23.5 million. David Cordani saw his CEO compensation go from $20 to $21 million. Karen Lynch, the CEO of CVS, went from 20 to 22 million, all in the span of 3 years. All at the same time, we have these staggering DIR fees that have gone up by 107,000% over the last decade. At the same time, there have been 7,000 pharmacy closures during that time. So what's wrong with this picture? You have fees skyrocketing. You have pharmacy closures skyrocketing. You have drug costs increasing. And then you have CEO compensation at these different companies that are called PBMs also increasing. That is why Congress is scrutinizing this particular problem today. Thank you, and I yield back.